Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a trying new makeup. I have a bunch of products here that I want to test out with you guys. The most requested one is the Jaclyn Cosmetics Blush and Bronzer Duos. So I ordered these on launch day. They just arrived last night late. And then I also have one of the pressed highlighters. So I thought we could use these, demo them, swatch them, look at the packaging. I know you guys were really wanting to hear my thoughts. I will give you those today. I have not even taken them out. Also have a bunch of other products like the Marc Jacobs Extra Shot Concealer and Foundation. I hauled this in my Sephora haul, so I want to try this out. Also have the Benefit They're Real Magnet Mascara, as well as the new Huda Beauty Brow Pencil. So I thought we would focus on these today. I'd like to do more of a natural look today so we can really focus on the complexion, the Jaclyn products, the brows, the mascara. I also have the new Wet n Wild Incognito Concealer I'm hearing great things about. And I also wanted to use some new products from Dominique Cosmetics. These are the Blur and Moisture Serum Primer and then her hydrating mist. I've been using this and loving it basically as a serum or a just moisturizing kind of moisturizer underneath my makeup. So I've been using that. And then I wanted to demo this I mentioned this in my Sephora haul as well. This is their illuminator. It's like a glowy gel primer illuminator. And then I have just a couple extra things. I've been using this. This is the Too Faced Kitty Likes to Scratch. I mean, that name is just interesting, but I just want to use this for a simple look today because I really want to focus on the mascara, the Jaclyn products, complexion, so I'm probably not going to do much on the eyes like I usually do, but really want to focus on all these other products today. So if you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe and let's go ahead and begin. We're gonna start off with the Kitty Likes to Scratch palette from Too Faced. They had, I think, 3 or 4 of these small ones they sent out, and I wasn't too interested because they were getting mixed reviews, but I have to say this one is nice. I like specifically this shade right here. I use it a lot. It's just really easy to throw in the crease and go. So that's kind of what I'm gonna do today because I don't even think I'm gonna wear false lashes. I'm just not in the mood to do a crazy look today, and I really wanna see how these complexion products play. So I'm just going to put this in the crease. You can see like how pigmented that is right away. It's very pigmented and it blends super well. And lately I've been doing my eyes first. It's so interesting. I would have never done that before, but oh, how times have changed. Do you ever have days where you just feel like a mess? That's me. Yesterday I felt really just like bleh about myself. I don't know, I was just having like a not great confident day. And then even today, maybe it's just because I don't know, my hair's all frizzy because I just washed it. I just am like looking at myself like, girl, get it together. I don't know if you ever have days like that. My skin's kind of like acting up. It's like I get rid of the, you know, little hormonal acne spots and then they just literally come back with vengeance. And I know like diet triggers for me, but I haven't eaten anything that should trigger it. So I'm like, why is that happening? So off camera, I did liner on one of my eyes. You guys have been asking and requesting how I do my liner, so I want to show you guys on camera. So first of all, there's a few tips I have for you. Number one, I think it's very important to have a liner pen that works for you personally. For me, and I think for beginners, I would recommend a brush tip liner in a pen style. That's what works for me. I feel like it's just the easiest to control. Sometimes felt tips can really like skip and then it's very hard to clean up. So that's my first tip. The 2 I would recommend is M Cosmetics brush tip and the tattoo liner from KVD. Now I'm going to use brown today. You could use black as well. My favorite black liner is from Artist of Makeup. I somehow lost it or misplaced it, so I'm going to have to repurchase, but I'm going to use brown today. My second tip is to ground your arm. So if you're trying to freehand it, I feel like you just have no control. Whereas if I rest my arm on my vanity or my desk, I don't have to worry about my arm moving. It's just set there and I can do my liner easier. My third tip is to do your eyes first. Because if you mess up, it's very easy to clean up. You can take a Q-tip, a makeup wipe, and clean up the bottom and kind of restart if you really mess up. So the way that I like to do it is do a line out and then pull the line in. I've been stopping it about halfway, a little bit more than halfway over. It's just more flattering for the eye, especially if I'm not wearing falsies. Just sort of lifts the eye. And then any eyeshadow that's under here, I just take a makeup wipe and I will wipe that once we're done. So I'm gonna go ahead and demo it. I can't talk while I'm doing it because I like to really get into the mirror, but I'm gonna use the Mad Max Brown from KVD to do this. So you can see that I've done the line. Another tip I have for you is instead of using your pen like this, you're not gonna have any control. You want it to glide with your skin. So whichever way you're pulling it. So for this, you know, you hold it like this, and then when you go back in, you wanna turn it and go down towards where you're pulling the liner, if that makes sense. Instead of just keeping your liner pen flat, you really wanna turn it to move with the way that you're gliding the liner pen, I guess. It's kind of hard to describe. So from here, I'm going to hold my pen like this. Again, I'm not gonna hold it like this. I'm gonna hold it like this because I'm gonna glide it this way. So it should be something like this. Now it's not perfect, but it gives me sort of an outline to work with. See how I'm kind of gliding? I'm telling you guys, it's so much harder to do this on camera because I'm trying to stay in frame, and typically I would literally be like way down here, like right in my mirror, so it's just very difficult. Now, this isn't perfect on the outer corner. Am I in focus here? This isn't perfect, so I'm gonna tweak this by just kind of filling in whatever we need to fill in. And if you ever feel like your liner pen gets a little bit dried out, sometimes it can, especially when I was just speaking to you guys, just put the cap back on and shake it and let that ink kind of drop down. But that's really how I do it. Then I'm gonna do my face concealer, and I'm really going to highlight and sharpen right under here. That really lifts the eye. I have a little bit of eyeshadow that's down here, so I just take a makeup wipe and just clean it up. So any eyeshadow that blended too low, you're not gonna see it, especially once we put concealer on, so you can see some of that came off, but once we, again, put concealer on, it'll fix that. So it should just be something like that. For me, the most important thing is using a liner that I'm comfortable with. I've used liner pens that bleed or they just don't have a fine enough tip, and I really like the brush tip because I can just glide it, like I said. I don't know, something about a felt tip, they skip and then it ends up just being too big. So this is my preferred liner. I will link down below the ones that I recommend. That's how I do my winged liner, and you'll see as I do my face and I clean up underneath how I really get that sharp lifted look. So I quickly curled my lashes, and I want to go in and use the Benefit mascara. This is their new They're Real magnet mascara. Now I don't know if I like understand the whole magnet thing. It's supposed to like lift your lashes. I've used this a few times. I have to say that I felt like it gave me length, and that's why I wanted to do sort of the half liner. I didn't want to do a full glam today. I mean, this is full glam. You guys, I'm just crazy. The shit that I say, I'm like, what am I saying? I didn't want to do like a smoky eye or a ton of eyeshadow. I wanted to really showcase this with a look that I would use no lashes for, I guess. One thing I've noticed is this is very prickly on your eye. So just be like, it really is scratching my eye. But you can see right away I'm getting those, or getting that length. So I'm just really building it up. And I don't know if you can tell, but it definitely is giving me length, even with this wing on. But you can see my lashes, which for me, this is pretty good. I really like, I know a lot of people don't like it, but I really like the Morphe mascara. It just gives me length and volume. This one's more lengthening, but I'm just gonna build it up. So I think I'm gonna leave it there, but I have to say that it really does give me, you know, the look of lashes. I don't have huge lashes, so for me, you know, there's a limitation to what these can do, but this is one that actually impressed me. Just know that it is going to prick your eyes very heavily. It's probably one of the worst offenders for that. Doesn't necessarily bother me, but my eyelids underneath feel a little bit like they've been jabbed at. So I'm gonna leave the eyes there. Let's move on to the face. I'm gonna use this Dominique Cosmetics Blur and Moisture Serum Primer. I've been loving this, loving it. It's basically just like a clear gel serum. It says it has blurring in it. It doesn't appear to have any scent in it, which is why I think I like it. It doesn't irritate, just hydrates so nicely, and it lays beautifully under my makeup. So I apply this all over generously, basically as my moisturizer. And then as a dewy primer, I'm gonna go in with this Say Star Glow Super Gel Illuminator, I guess they call it. I don't know. To me, it's like a primer. Now, I think they said you can mix it in with your foundation, use it as a primer, whatever you wanna do. It's very similar to the Rare Beauty one. The only thing I don't love is the smell on it. It's like, it smells like flowers, like pollen or something. I don't know. Very strong smell, which I'm kind of like, ooh. But it gives you that pretty, you know, dewy look with that gel feeling. Really just similar to that Rare Beauty, so similar. For me, I prefer the Rare Beauty because it's not heavily scented. So I put a little bit of my Tarte primer in my T-zone just to smooth out my pores. Now I wanna go in with the Marc Jacobs Extra Shot Caffeine Concealer in Foundation. I'm nervous because I haven't really heard anything great about this. There's been a lot of and a lot of I don't like it, which makes me a little bit worried. I have the shade Medium 250, so I'm gonna use it as a foundation today. It does have a doe foot, so we're just gonna go in, I guess. I'm gonna use a beauty blender. Off the bat, it feels very matte. Okay, very matte. And I would say the coverage is medium. So we're gonna go ahead and apply it over here. I feel like this part of my face just wants to break out continually. My chin area, it's driving me insane. So the coverage is definitely, let's say high medium. You can, I mean, I would say you could build it to full. Definitely matte. So here's what the foundation looks like on. I would say the coverage is medium to full. It's not the most flattering on texture. It just looks a little bit heavy just around my pore area, around these breakouts. The color, I don't know. To be honest, I'm not loving it so far, which it's really strange. Usually a matte foundation is very smoothing, so we'll have to just keep trying, but I don't know. Looking at my skin, it just looks a little bit textured to me. So now I want to go in with the Wet n Wild Incognito Concealer. I've heard great things about this. I have the shade Light Medium. Has a doe foot applicator. And I've been usually just applying it right about here. And then to really sharpen the wing, I've been applying concealer right underneath it. So this concealer feels very thick, but I've heard great things. It's supposed to be a full coverage. So here's what the concealer looks like. I'm honestly not loving it. I feel like, I don't know if it's full coverage, and I feel like the shade is a little bit dark. I just feel like I can see a lot of what's going on there. I almost feel like it oxidized just a tad bit. So I'm gonna apply a tiny bit more just right there where I need that coverage. Yeah, I want more of like a bright look, but I feel like it oxidized a little bit. So I am going to quickly go off camera and set my face because I don't have anything new, and then we'll jump into the Jaclyn Hill and the brows and finish off the face. So I went ahead and set my face off camera and did a contour with my Dior Backstage, but I want to zoom you in and finish off my brows. If you hear claws, my bulldog's in here rummaging around. Why? We will never know. There's no room in here, and he gets tangled up in, you know, all my light stands and equipment, but you know, he comes in here from time to time to see me. If he wasn't 80 pounds, I would lift him up and show him to you because he's a doll baby. So I want to go in with this Huda Beauty Micro Shade Brow Pencil. This is supposed to be the smallest brow pencil on the market. First, when I saw the component, I thought it looked large, but it's just the actual packaging. So there's a spoolie on one end and then the brow pencil on the other. I have the shade here for light brown. I'm going to try to give you a close-up comparing the actual brow pencil to the Benefit Precisely My Brow, which has been my favorite, and you'll be able to see how much smaller it is. So hopefully you can see there, the Benefit is the light silver packaging, and then the Huda obviously is the other one. It's pretty substantial, which is shocking because the Benefit is really small. And I could see why this would be very beneficial if you like to do those strokes, but you don't like the brow pen markers. Those are a little bit harder to control. They just, you know, they slip and slide, whereas this one is a little bit more waxy and you have the control, I guess. So let's zoom in and I will finish off my brows. So I sort of just fill in any sparse areas. And then I just do little brow strokes. So there you go. There you have it, folks, right in the center here. I feel like it's just basically the Benefit, but smaller. So my thought about this is if you have full brows, this is going to be probably annoying because it's very small. It's going to take a lot of time. But if you want hair-like strokes and you feel like you can't find a brow pencil precise enough, this might be the ticket. And I'm glad it has a spoolie too, so you can kind of work through. So the pro of this is it's much smaller where you can get in there and do the hair-like strokes without them looking super large and not natural. The con is that if you have to fill in your whole brow, this is going to be more time consuming. You're going to use it up faster. So I feel like this would be an add-on brow product for a lot of people to do detail work. So now we're going to move on to the face, onto the Jaclyn Cosmetics blush and bronzer duos. I picked up two shades. I got Sunkissed in Bronze Moment, which seems a little bit deeper. And then I got Pink Me Up in Oh Honey. We're just going to play around. I have to say the packaging is very weighted. The box is very pretty. I will say these are bulky though. Just looking at the packaging, if you don't like thick packaging, I mean, this is pretty large. So just to give you a visual, this is my Natasha Denona quad. It has 4 powders in here. This has 2 from Jaclyn. They're roughly the same size, but even in thickness, the Jaclyn is just a little bit thicker. So if you don't like bulky, you might want to avoid this or it might bother you. It looks nice. It's black, shiny, and then it says Jaclyn up here with the logo here. So this is Sunkissed in Bronze Moment. You get a mirror inside, and then this is the baked formula. This one looks a little bit deeper. They definitely both have that sheen to them. So I think I'm probably gonna get on with this one better just because I feel like my foundation is a little bit dark today. I feel like I'm just sort of blanked out. That concealer was too dark. I'm just not loving my complexion, but we'll just keep going. And then the other one I got was Pink Me Up in Oh Honey. I do have to say a lot of these looked very similar. I wish that there would have been more variation, I guess. The one thing I did notice is I really wanted to get the really punchy colored blush, but the bronzer was for like deeper skin tones, and I felt like, do I really want to buy, because these are like $30 some, do I really want to buy it just for the blush? So I didn't, but I wish there would have been more variety, not just like a pink blush with the lighter bronzers. I wish there would have been more variety of colors. So here's the next one, same packaging, and this one you can just tell is a little bit lighter in the bronzer, and then the blush is more baby doll pink, whereas this other one has a little bit more, I don't know, of that like flushed look. All right, so I've turned my lighting down here so you can see this is Sunkissed in Bronze Moment, which I feel like is gonna work for me. I don't think this one's gonna work for me, which is the lighter one in Pink Me Up and Oh Honey. It just looks so light. Like that blush, I can barely even see it, and I build it up 3 swatches. So comparing them here, you've got the lighter one on bottom and the darker one on top. I mean, they just look so incredibly similar. Just the one on top's a little bit deeper. So I feel like that one bronzer is just too light for me with my self tan. So I'm gonna go into Bronze Moment here to start off, and I'm just gonna use a fluffy brush. There's a little bit of kick up in the pan, but this is definitely a baked formula. So I'm gonna start Doesn't seem super warm. Seems a little bit cool toned. Let's go ahead and put some on the forehead. I don't know if I feel like I'm getting warmth, which is kind of what I like with the bronzer. It's sort of hard to tell because I don't love this foundation shade and just everything about it. So there's definitely a pigment there. It's very cool toned, which is not really my preference for a bronzer. I don't know, you guys can tell me down below. I just feel like I look so blanked out. Like that concealer is just not brightening. The foundation is just like dark and almost muddy looking. And I don't know if that's making me not like the bronzer. I feel like I just look muddy all over. It's so weird when you don't like a foundation and you can't pinpoint what it is about it. Let's go ahead and try the blush, which is Sunkissed. These appear to be more of a buildable formula. So hopefully this will bring some color back to my face. I just feel like okay, so I can see that. Has a sheen to it. So I'd say I like the blush more than the bronzer upon first impression, but I just feel like the bronzer could be a little bit more warm, and I also feel like they just look so similar, but it looks okay. I really hate this foundation. Spoiler alert, I hate it. I'm gonna move on to the Jaclyn Cosmetics highlighter. I picked up the shade Iced. This is supposed to be super intense, so I'm a little bit like nervous that it's gonna be crazy. Again, it's got that really pretty packaging, but it is very thick, so it's bulky, just know that. So let's go ahead and swatch this. Feels nice and buttery. Okay, wow, that's intense. So I think I'm gonna have to use a light hand. All right, so let's go ahead and apply. Yeah, I barely used any, so this is for the people that want the most intense highlight of their life. Wow, this can get stripey, so just be aware of that, but it's very, very blinding. Holy crap. So for me, I would use this more probably as a topper, using like my normal highlighter and then just a tiny bit like right up here. But this is beautiful. I mean, it really does say what she said it's gonna do. If you like the really intense highlight, I think you would enjoy this one. All right, so to finish off, I wanna go in with my KKW lip liner in Mauve 2. I bought this and I really like this color. I love their lip liners and lipsticks. I know a lot of people don't like her lipsticks, but I think the colors just work so beautifully. So I'm gonna line my lips and then I might play around with this Makeup by Mario lip palette. All right, so I put my lip liner on. I just really like that color. It's nude, but it has that like mauve tone. It's not brown or just like peachy. It's just different. So I think I want to go in with this Makeup by Mario lip palette. They sent this to me in PR and I used it the other day. So in here you get a bunch of colors, neutral colors, and then these colors to mix. I'm not like super experienced, so for me, I'll just like go into a color. I think I want to maybe jump into, no, actually I might go into this shade. It comes with a lip brush and you can mix and match. I feel like this is probably more suited for makeup artists. Kind of wish that he'd come out with just like lipsticks, like in bullets, but the formula is really thin. I would say like a matte satin. I'm gonna go in with my Tower 28 Oat Gloss just to lighten up the center here. Give me a little bit of shine. And then I want to finish off with this Dominique Cosmetics spray. This is the Ultra Hydrating Fine Mist. So I love the primer, but I haven't used this yet. I did use the one from the collaboration with JD Wadey, which I liked, but this is just supposed to be like a hydrating, I think like skincare spray, but you can use it over makeup too. Very fine mist. Very light smell, nothing crazy. All right, guys, here's my finished makeup look, and I have to say this is not my best day. It's just one of those where I just didn't like a couple of the products at all. So let's start off with the Marc Jacobs foundation. I feel like something about this I don't like, and I don't know what it is. It just isn't the most flattering on my texture. It just feels cakey. Looks like it's accentuating texture down here, even with the pore primer. The color seems a little bit dark and a little bit muddy on me. I don't know, I'll keep trying this out, but this mixed with the concealer that I didn't think was light enough, I just feel blanked out. I even tried to put on some powders to like brighten the under eye and brighten under here. I just feel like I look a little bit dark, a little bit muddy, just not my favorite. I can just tell off the bat this is just not going to be a favorite of mine. The concealer I think may work with my regular foundation, but it oxidized a little bit, which is kind of annoying because I really like a bright under eye. So I'll have to keep trying this. I don't think really anything is wrong with this. The coverage wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be just because it says full coverage, but we'll keep giving it a try. I don't mind the primer from Say, but it's really just a dupe for the Rare Beauty, and I like the Rare Beauty because it doesn't have a scent to it, but they're very similar in texture. Love, love, love the Dominique Cosmetics Blur and Moisture Serum Primer. It's just beautiful. It just hydrates. It doesn't sting. It doesn't have a ton of fragrance. And so far, I like this. I don't know if it's going to be anything standout, but for me, I feel like this one does some blurring. I've used it with my favorite foundations, and I just felt like I looked quite flawless recently. So this is a yes. I also do like the Benefit Magnet Mascara. It does poke a little bit, so if you're sensitive or you have sensitive eyes, definitely maybe not try this out just because it does really like poke your eye. But as you can see, it does give me length even with these wings on, so I like this and I'll keep using it. The Huda Beauty, I like it. I feel like it's just gonna work for those hairs right there. I don't know if it's gonna replace my Benefit just because the Benefit Precisely My Brow has worked for me for so long, and I don't see myself kind of using 10 different brow products, so I'll keep trying it. Another thing is when I do things on camera, they never turn out as good because I'm trying to stay in frame, whereas when I usually do my brows, I'm like right up in the mirror. So I'll keep playing around with this, but I like it. It's not wowing me, but it's good so far. And I really love the KKW lip liner. I just like their lip liners, and this color is a little bit of a nice change of pace for me, not the typical peachy brown nudes. The Mario palette, it's nice that I have it. I can throw on lip colors and I can custom mix and match, but I don't know if I would reach for these all the time just because I much prefer just like a bullet lipstick. In terms of the Jaclyn Hill palettes, I think they're a little bit bulky, which I don't love. They just feel clunky. I will say that I like the blush more than the bronzer. I'll have to try this out. It just looks super light. Like just swatching the bronzer, just looks light to me, which I don't know. I wish there was just more depth in these, and I wish the bronzer was a little bit more warm toned. So you can see here, the lighter one is a little bit more warm toned, but it just looks like it'd be too light. And then the blush, you know, was nice. It had nice pigment, but it just didn't wow me. These didn't wow me, and I don't know if it's because I don't like my base. That can happen a lot of the time. If I'm not loving the foundation, really nothing is sitting well over it. I feel like my final look looks nice, but when I use my Patrick Ta blushes or my Tower 28 blushes, Natasha Denona, my favorite blushes, I'm really like, it just pulls things together, and I didn't feel that with this. But I do actually like this highlighter. I feel like if you love a blinding highlighter like Ofra Glaze Donut or something like that, you would really love this. This is just bam, in your face. I like the tone of it. So this is probably my favorite thing out of the Jaclyn stuff that I tried, but I'll keep trying it, and it could seriously just be I don't like my foundation today. So I'll try these products more off camera when I'm just wearing my normal foundation, but probably the worst product today was this. I just don't like it. It's one of those things where you put it on and you can just feel, it just feels heavy. It's like matte, but gunky and heavy. Just not my favorite, unfortunately. I'll try it some more, but I just don't think I'm gonna fall in love with it. So that is everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hate when I get down because when things aren't going well, when I feel like shades aren't matching, or I feel like my skin looks textured, or just things happen, it like, I don't know what it is, but it's just like, I feel like I'm like, nope, I just want to take it off. And the whole point is to keep trying products. So I wanted to demo these for you, even though this isn't my favorite look. I feel like in the end, my makeup looks okay, but it's definitely not my favorite. And I feel like I just am focusing on this texture and just how blanked out I look. I just wish I could have more brightness here, brightness here. I need more dimension to my face, and that foundation just kind of like blanked me out. It was kind of weird. So I will link everything down below. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'm just too hard on myself, but you know when you have foundations or stuff that you know works for you and you try other things and you just feel like it throws everything off. That's kind of where I'm at. So I hope this wasn't too negative for you guys. I'll keep trying out these products and let you guys know my thoughts with a full, you know, review video coming. Thank you guys again so much for watching. If you're new here, I hope you will subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.